Welcome to Breed's Mound, or Bride's Mound, depending on how you wish to pronounce it, or Brigid if you wish to say that. So I'm at Beckery, just on the outskirts of Glastonbury, and here is a lovely handmade sign locating this particular site. Now, I'm not going to record the video here. I just wanted to show you. This was the site of the original Magdalene chapel, and Brigid visited here, and it was believed that she stayed for a few years. So there's actually someone else coming up. So I just wanted to show you this before I go over to where is considered the site of the well. There's a plaque marking it. So I'll go and record the rest of the video from there. But just wanted to give you a glimpse of Breed's Mound, and I'll talk more about it when I'm at the well. I made it. As you'll see in the photo I'll put up now, which looks out. I look from here straight across to Breed's Mound and then to the Tor. So it's a straight line. However, there is an overgrown meadow. So it wasn't like that last year. It was quite easy to see where you were heading. And actually, even getting to Breed's Mound, I decided I would come via Wirral Hill, which I talked about in my video. Well, actually, I made it yesterday about Chalicewell Gardens. I haven't posted it yet, but it'll probably get posted before this one. I don't think I've ever had 2 videos ready to go out. Anyway, I'm keen, inspired. But I went up Wirral Hill. It is spelt Wirral, but I think the pronunciation is Wirral. I went up Wirral Hill and walked a path that takes you to a meadow the other side of here. And actually I'm pointed that way. And that meadow was so overgrown. I walked across it last year, so overgrown, and there were brambles, and it's hot. I'm in shorts. So I was walking going, oh, this is a pilgrimage, this is a pilgrimage. And then I got here to the other side of this meadow. I was like, oh, okay. But at least there were no spiky bits. It was just very, very long grass. And then I couldn't find this marker for the well, but we got here in the end. So the sun is right in my eyes, so you will get me squinting the entire video. I'm not going to put on my sunnies. You can just put up with my squint. So here is the marker of where it is believed that the well was, just from following the rose petals, I guess, doing a bit of archaeological work and putting 2 and 2 together, then worked out that this must be the site, straight across from Breed's Mound. So as I was saying, there was the original Magdalene chapel was there, and later on it was dedicated to St. Brigid after she had visited, but prior to that it was a Magdalene chapel, and it is the chapel where the legend has it that King Arthur, after dreaming 3 nights in a row, he had to go to Beckery. He came here, and this is where he saw Mary and the Christ child in a vision. And after that, he changed his banner to the Christian cross rather than the red dragon. So that speaks loads, that legend has endured. Anyway, but it also shows the power of Beckery, the power of Breed's Mound, as it is called. So this is a little bit of a vulnerable video. Now I've got the history out of the way, and I actually recorded a video from here almost exactly 1 year ago. It might have been give or take a day. I didn't look it up. And I was sitting here, and I'd had an easy walk across the meadow at that point. And I did talk more about the history there, but in that video, I was in a very raw state because I was leaving Glastonbury early, just on the first day of my retreat beginning, to go home and be with my mum while she transitioned. And I did get home and managed to have, I think it was about 9 days with her before she left this earthly life for now. And at that point, I hadn't had a lot of processing time. And as I recorded this particular video here, in this spot, I think quite a bit of the grief came up. So yes, it is a bit of it's been a tender time here in Glastonbury, knowing what I was experiencing last year. So that's not actually what I want to talk about in this video. I want to talk about still a quite raw and vulnerable experience that I'm having. It's internal experience. It's my journey. And I think this came, well, it's been there the whole time I've been traveling, and I've mentioned it now and again in my videos just about my work and is my work changing with the Rose line. And I've had this really strong feeling of wanting to ground it more fully and not be quite so almost. I used this term the other day as well. This new agey sort of approach, and I don't think that's the right term, but it can be very isolating in its language, because if you don't speak that language, you it doesn't really resonate, and I found that being here, and I'm here for Magdalene's feast day, and there's many here for Magdalene's feast day, and it's a little bit the same. There's a certain vernacular that goes around Mary Magdalene and being part of a Magdalene lineage and so on, and ultimately at the end of the day, I use the Rose line as a story to illustrate to you how to be more authentically you. I mean, that's what this journey is all about. Oh, hello. And that's what we are remembering, and that's the core of everything that I share here on YouTube, everything I share in my membership, the different courses I run. It's all about finding who you truly are and finding that harmonic resonance, that beautiful frequency that exists when you're in harmony between your masculine and feminine, or yin and yang, or however you want to refer to it, and between the spirit that you are, the soul that you are, and the matter, this physical body. And I use the Rose line as a story. I use the Magdalene remembering as a story. And I've talked about this before, is that I really don't want to get hung up on the stories about the life of Mary Magdalene. And last night I went to an event, a 2-hour event. This weekend is a Magdalene festival. I forget what it's called. Last night's event was called Avalon Wisdom Keepers of the Rose, or something like Magdalene Rose or something. It had all the right words in it. Anyway, that was the title. And there were 5 or 6 speakers. It was really interesting. A couple of guys speaking. They were really interesting. And some ladies. And 3 of them had put together this particular festival on this weekend. And the audience was not all women, but mostly women. And they were mostly women who'd come for this Magdalene festival. And I have to laugh, though, when it was question time at the end. The first lady who asked a question, oh God, love her. She said, I've got 2 questions, but my first one is, I didn't realise that it was compulsory to wear a dress. I didn't see that on the invitation or on the event information or something. And she said, and I've just worn my trousers and I'm here for the weekend, but I have got some dresses. And it was sort of funny, because the majority of ladies there were dressed up very goddessy, in their flowing dresses and so on. And it just made me laugh, because in some ways, I get it. It's wonderful to embrace that feminine energy. And when you're at something like this, it's like a chance to maybe to embrace that in a way that maybe you don't embrace it as much at home. But it also made me laugh, because it also is a part of the stereotype of what it is to be, the priestess of Magdalene, or whatever it is that you want to refer to. So I understand both sides. But it did make me laugh. That was the first question that came up. Because that's right, she said, I'm really new to this stuff. And that's the first thing she said, I'm really new to this stuff. I didn't realize there was a dress code. Anyway, it just gave me a giggle. So, where am I going with this? So, yeah, so that event, there were some interesting perspectives given, and some of them were a little more into the woo side of the Magdalene lineage than where I go nowadays. Because, as I said, it's just for me, it's just about grounding it, it's about embodying it. That's what I really want to be. That's the message I want to be giving. And I'm hoping that when you watch my videos, even though, maybe I refer to some of these more esoteric things and understandings and stuff that's been interesting for me, but I hope ultimately that what I'm sharing with you is to teach you how to live it in your everyday 3D life. And because that's what I'm learning, that's what I've been doing, and I just want to show up for you authentically and share the challenges I'm having, as well as the amazing. I mean, you watching these videos going, God, you have an amazing life. I do. I've been traveling to these incredible places. I've been meeting wonderful people. Yesterday, I connected. I did connect with her last year, but I connected with Cheryl Yambrat Rose, who created the Magdalene Mystic Oracle deck. And I mentioned in my video from Glastonbury Abbey about I just had bought her new Avalon Visions deck. And she's got a little gallery set up here. And I was connecting with her and her husband, Toby, yesterday. And these connections are amazing. And I've got to say, I didn't get this out for you in time, but I did draw a card from her deck this morning. If you are in Glastonbury, please go and see her exhibition and connect with her. I brought her my little guidebooks today so she can sign them for me. There'll be a fan stuff. But I actually drew this card this morning. Beckery and the Blue Spring, new insights are revealed. So this is about here. I'm assuming this is it, the well. But it was the new insights are revealed I found really interesting, and that's why I've been pondering this stuff as I come here today. But yeah, I'm meeting amazing people. Sorry, I've just realized I've been watching myself again. So eyes back to you. I get distracted sometimes. Meeting amazing people and just making some really lovely connections. And actually, speaking of that, yesterday I was walking out of an op shop, a charity shop, because I do like to check them out while I'm in Glastonbury. And I'm trying to, so you can still see the well there, but I'm still centered. And I suddenly heard someone call out, Jacqueline. And I turned around. I thought, wow, it must be one of the ladies that's here on my retreats already here. And I looked at this lady and thought, no, I don't know you. And she said, oh, I know you from your YouTube channel. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's the first time that's ever happened to me. And then so Amanda, if you're watching, not Amanda. Amanda's the second story I've got, not Amanda, Jessica. Jessica, if you're watching, thank you for saying hello. You brought the biggest smile to my face. It was so delightful. So thank you for that. Amanda, I'm going to go and visit afterwards because she responded to that video at Glastonbury Abbey saying she works in the high street and gave me the name of the shop. So I'm going to go and say hello to her afterwards. I mean, meeting these people, how incredible. I feel so blessed. So yes, my travels, my adventures, simply amazing. But I hope that within that, for you, that you are also getting a piece of reality. Like, even though maybe this is not what you do in your life, but I hope that what I share inspires you and maybe even assists you in recognizing what's important to you. What is it you want from your life? Do you want to live a life like this? Or do you want to even set up your little permaculture at home? Do you want to really just be completely devoted as a mother? Whatever it is, I just hope that in sharing my story and sharing the messages from the Rose Line, that I am assisting you in embracing more of who you are and more of what your gifts are and who you really want to be. And just remembering too the Rose Line, including the Magdalene. Magdalene is one of the 44 coming through for me at the moment. they're aspects of you. The codes, that frequency is in you. And that's why so many women are resonating with the Magdalene. The frequency is in them. It's in them. That empowered woman is in them. It's not about her story. I've got so many tangents going off in my brain at the moment. But that was one thing I wanted to share. A couple of the people last night mentioned Joseph of Arimathea, who I talked about in my Chalicewell Gardens video yesterday. Oh, probably also in my Glastonbury Abbey one. You know, the comment was made, I'd always read that he was Mary's uncle, Mary Magdalene, I mean, some say he was Jesus's uncle. And last night a couple of people said, oh, it was Mary Magdalene's father. And I was like, oh, that's interesting, you know. And then there was the whole story of connecting Jesus and Mary with Glastonbury. Now, I'm not saying they're not connected with Glastonbury and that they weren't here in Glastonbury. But I also feel like it's about the frequency. And it's about, well, if they were here in Glastonbury, what does that mean for Glastonbury? What does that mean for the land? What does that mean for the people coming here? And if they weren't physically here and it's more about the codes of that union, maybe that's just simply talking about the power of the Mary Michael lines crossing here, and that male female and the union of that and the energy that and the sort of portals of energy that creates. You know, I don't know and I don't have the answers. And I love hearing the different theories. And I've, you know, I've always been keen on history. So I do love hearing the story. And I love the herstory as well. I love all the stories and people's different perspectives. But I'm not going to make it the foundation of what I share. I don't want to. Because I want this to be about you, and I want this to be about your life now and the way you live your life. And are you being true to yourself? And are you being your most authentic version of yourself? Because that's what I think the Roseline teachings are all about. I was going somewhere else. I had another thread there. And I think I've lost it. And for me right now, I am heading home next Friday. And all I want to do for quite a long time is be on my land. Well, it's not my land, but it's the land I live on. In fact, it's no one's land, is it? It's Mother Earth's land, but be on that land. Talk to my plants again. Grow some roses. Connect with my beautiful community at home. And see what unfolds for my journey, for what I'll be teaching and sharing. And yeah, I've got some ideas, but I'll share more when I get home. But that's what I'm being called to do. That's the way I feel like I'm going to be living most authentically from now on. So what I'm going to do after this, other than go and say hello to Amanda in the shop, is also go and visit Cheryl and Toby again and their little gallery. So I might do a little film of that. So I'll put that at the end of the video just so you can have a look at where they are. And as I say, if you're in Glastonbury, pop in and say hello and meet them. They're really delightful. And in the meantime, well, I've got my retreat starting in a couple of days, and I'm going to be pondering where I'm at on this journey and how I can ground what I'm offering in a way that's not so exclusive to people who have the lingo of the Roseline and the teachings and Mary Magdalene and all of that. Let's see what emerges. So, bye-bye, Brigid. This will be my last video because I'm preparing now for the retreat. And next time I speak to you will be post-jet lag recovery from my little home in Mullumbimby Creek, Australia. And until then, Rose blessings to you. Okay, so here I am in Glastonbury High Street, and here is the sign for Cheryl's exhibition. So if you are here, here's where we're going in. I have warned her that I'm coming in, so she knows to expect me. I'm not catching her unawares. How beautiful is this walk-in? Here we are. So this is her original artwork that she has on sale, and I did get a print there yesterday. So these are from different decks that she has created.
Oh, which one? That's probably more. I think that's the, yeah.
Just getting around the customers there. That's from her latest deck. And just to get a little glimpse of Toby and Cheryl signing my card decks.